Hello everyone, welcome back. It's an exciting day. First trip to the garden centre this year. But first, I need to check the seed potatoes that I saved from last year's harvest, to make sure that they're in good condition, and then decide what I need to buy at the garden centre. So these are seed potatoes from last year's harvest. Just saved them. Ones that are sort of that sort of size, eggish sort of size. Put them up there on the shelf in these paper bags, and they've been there ever since. Not even looked at them. So let's have a look. So Charlotte, which we always grow because we really like Charlotte, as they're actually a second early, but I tend to plant them March time, no matter what. So let's have a look. They're looking pretty good, even starting to chip themselves in the bag. I can't see any rotten potatoes in there. That was chicken as well. Excellent. No rotten ones in there. So all good. And I saved some pink fir apple, which are a main crop, and first time I'd ever grown them last year, and I've got to say I was really impressed. Absolutely fantastic potatoes. Because of the way they grow, they can sort of grow a bit knobbly, if you like. A bit of a pain to peel. So what we did a lot with them was just cut them into slices, into discs, and then made chips out of them basically, and also roasted them. They were really nice like that. Just give them a real good wash, bit of a scrub, and roast them. So let's have a look at these. Looking good. No rot. None that have gone really soft or anything like that. So they're good. So I think I'm probably going to buy some more Charlotte. Probably going to buy some more pink fir apple because we really like them. Probably some King Edward, because I always grow King Edward as a main crop as well. Because we grow enough potatoes to try and get through the year, or almost through the year. We're still eating them from last year. So off to the garden centre we go. So this place is our favourite garden centre. If you live in Shropshire or the area, then highly recommend it. Oakgate Garden Centre, Elladine, and we've got a cafe, tea room, etc. there, and then all the composts and things here, and then loads and loads and loads of polytunnels and indoor space, etc. full of plants. So Julie's going to rush off and buy things for the garden. and I'm going to get stuck to the veg pot. And I'm going to try and set myself a limit, spend limit of 30 quid. Unlikely to happen, I would say. So the first thing I want to get is some farmyard manure to put around the rhubarb. Did this last year, it worked really well. And for the chilies as well. So I was just loading the trolley with the manure, and one of the staff came over and she said, you'd be better off with this. So, natural plant field, 6 times richer than farmyard manure. And she said she's put it all over her garden and it is far better. So 10 quid for 15 kilo. So that's one bag. I wonder. Natural plant feed. So what's it got in it? So I think it's got chicken manure in there. Vegetables and fruit. Okay, I'll give that a go. So this is what I came for. Potatoes, seeds, onions. Well, we're back from the garden centre, and what a place. Really good garden centre, our favourite garden centre. And spent far too long there because I was talking to the staff about my channel, and they were telling me about their gardens and their vegetables and their allotments and all of that. And that's the beauty of that place, is the people that work there are growers and they have knowledge and experience, and that's worth its weight in gold. They have a good stock of everything and their prices are very reasonable. So I said I was going to spend 30 quid, which I knew was a lie. I was never going to spend 30 quid. I actually spent £38.41. So let me show you what I got for £38.41. As you saw, I was going to buy 3 bags of farmyard manure for £15, and a member of staff came over and said, you'd be better off buying this other stuff, six times it's called, which is more concentrated and cheaper, so you get a much better value for your money. So I bought this, and it was £9.99 for a 15 kilogram bag, and we'll give it a go. It says it is the equivalent to 200 litres of farmyard manure. It's natural, so I'm happy with that. So we'll give it a go. I also bought seed potatoes. So I bought Charlotte. I bought, for the first, never grown these before, Lady Crystal, which are a first early. So we're going to have a lot of early potatoes, which we like. We like a lot of early potatoes. And I've bought the old favourite, King Edward. So happy days there. I also bought onion sets. Even though I've sown lots of onions, I haven't sown any red onions, so I bought some Red Baron sets to go in about March time. I bought Stir On, which I grew last year from sets. They were really good, and I find, you know, you've got 50 sets in there. I can just about squeeze those into a pallet collar bed, separate from the other onions that are in the garden. And I bought myself some ginger, which I will put in a pot at some point, and hopefully put some ginger throughout the year then. And I bought myself broad beans, which I need to get in the ground fairly soon, and some tomatoes, variety Crocchini, which is an F1. It looks like it's a sort of cherry tomato, vines type tomato. So I'll give those a go. I haven't bought many seeds because I've got lots of seeds already in this box. Yeah. So I shall be planting those as well, but not yet. It's too early for me to sow tomatoes. I will sow those in March, probably indoors, and bring them on. So I'm going to have my brew, and then I need to get out in the garden and do some weeding, get a few more beds prepared if I can. The weather is looking a little bit poo, to be honest. It looks like it could rain. Hopefully not. It is very windy though, so I will keep the filming selective again and do my best to limit the wind noise on the video. So I think what I'm going to do after my coffee is that bed by the fence, I'm going to get that weeded, and then I'm going to break into one of the other compost piles at the back of the garden and start spreading that out on the beds, and try and get at least 2 beds ready for things to go into. It's a bit chilly today, very windy. I thought I'd come and check the thermometer, but it looks like the thermometer has broken. There's no dye left in it. That's not very useful, is it? However, the compost heap that I built, it was only 2 days ago, I think it's less than 48 hours at the moment, is now reading about 22 degrees. So it is heating up. So that's gone up from 9 degrees the other day to 22. So in this bed, well, a couple of the beds, we're blessed with fireweed, which is probably growing in from the site next door. And if you've got it, you find one. It looks sort of like this, and it grows really quite tall, probably up to about a metre and a half. And it's actually quite pretty. It has like a purpley pink flower, and it is edible. You can eat it, but trust me, if you've got it, get rid of it. These are the roots, and they grow along just under the surface, and they just put plants up everywhere, and it'll just keep multiplying. I had it in a garden that I used to have, and it's just horrendous. So do what you can to get rid of it. So I've got that bed weeded. I'm going to open this compost bay up now that was started way back last year, and we'll see what the compost's like. We'll get it spread onto this bed. Now I'm not going to sieve it, and it's going to be wet and clumpy. So what I'm going to do is just get it spread onto the bed, and then in a couple of weeks, when it's dried out a little bit, hopefully, I'll give it a rake and pull out any of the big lumps that I don't want in there. So there's a lot of brown material on the top there, wood chip that I put in as a top layer that hasn't really decomposed. It's probably a good 3 or 4 inches on the top that's not suitable. So I'm going to just quickly skim that off, put it into the new compost pile that I made the other day, and then get the other stuff on the beds. That's about a 2 or 3 inch layer. As you can see, there's still quite a lot of sticks and things in there, but that's fine. As I work on this bed, I will pull all that stuff out and that'll go back into the next compost pile. And let it dry out a bit, give it a rake, and all that stuff will come to the top. Now, I probably won't be putting anything in this bed for another 4 or 6 weeks, probably longer. So that's going to give the worms and what have you plenty of time to start taking this down into the bed. The other good thing about getting your compost spread on the beds, either in late winter or early spring, is pests, especially things like slugs, like to live in compost heaps and lay their eggs in compost heaps, etc. So by the time, if you can get it spread on the beds before your last frosts, there is a chance that you will start to kill some of those pests with the frosts, etc. So, but once this has had a rake, I will be getting slug pots, beer traps in here as soon as possible, because any homemade compost, once it's cooled down, things like slugs and that will move in. And when you spread it on your beds and you plant your young plants out in there, they're just going to get eaten. So there we go, guys. Bed by the fence, that's prepped. That bed's prepped, that bed's prepped, and that middle bed has now got all the garlic in. So hopefully we'll get a nice crop of garlic from there. And that compost bay right at the end is now pretty empty. There's a bit there, a couple of buckets, and the other 3 have still got to be sorted out. And that bed's obviously got to be done. That's just full of weeds and stuff. And the pallet collar beds have got to be done. Other than that, we're getting there now. We're slowly getting there. And the compost heap we built the other day is now overflowing with weeds and stuff from the ornamental garden, the Julie's garden. That's got lots of plant leaves and stuff in there as well now. So on top of that now, because that's a good layer of greens on there, I'm going to put those 2 buckets of browns which came off the top of that heap that you saw at the beginning of the video, and then that'll sink again over the next few days, and we'll just keep going until it won't sink anymore, and then cover it. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, really helps the channel. And if you've liked the content and you want to see more like that, then please subscribe. And if you hit the bell icon and then all, you'll get notified every time I upload a video. Thanks a lot. See you next time.